In Italy, a clothing maker is growing its business with the World Wide Web, while in Indianapolis, a movie star's racing team is winning auto races. In New York, shoppers find their favorite foods on the shelves, while around the world, travelers buy tickets on the web. And in Japan, kids are playing the latest Nintendo. What do all these people have in common? They're all being touched in almost every facet of their lives by silicon graphics. From chips embedded in everyday consumer products to the highest level of supercomputing, silicon graphics is everywhere.
If you look at the customers who use our systems, they're the customers that design the products that all of us use on a daily basis.
The difference between success and failure in the grocery business is the difference between knowing exactly what your customers want or wondering. Hannaford Brothers, a chain of 40 grocery stores in and around New York, is using silicon graphics systems to keep track of what their customers buy and make sure it's always in stock. A successful auto manufacturer today needs to know how to produce safe, high-quality products inexpensively. Karman supplies auto bodies and assemblies for car manufacturers worldwide. They use silicon graphics systems early in their design process to simulate crash testing and eliminate costly prototyping. Staying ahead in the intensely competitive airline business means giving customers better service while making operations more efficient. For American Airlines, this means using silicon graphics web servers to open their Sabre reservation system to the internet. Nothing says close competition more than auto racing, where differences of 1,000th of an inch in tolerance can mean the difference between first and last place. The Newman-Haas racing team is using computational fluid dynamics on silicon graphics machines to win races before they ever hit the track. In today's global marketplace, consumer demands are greater than ever, and companies cannot afford to stand still. Silicon Graphics' driving force is to provide its customers with the competitive advantage they need.
You buy a computer system and within months it's out of power. And then you have to buy another computer system and it may not be quite compatible because it may not use the latest open standards. So what we as a company attempted to do after working with our customers was to define a scalable product line.
By delivering leading-edge technology, Silicon Graphics enables customers to innovate and succeed. For years, Silicon Graphics technology has enabled innovation. Today is no different. The latest result of Silicon Graphics' commitment to innovation is a whole new approach to designing computers. Now, computers have been getting faster every year, but while processor speeds have doubled every 18 months, overall performance has not. And when you get up to a certain point, it's not about how fast you can process, but how much you can process. The problem is computers have been built the same way for 30 years. The basic interconnect is a bus.
We face a fundamental problem, and that is that the amount of data that people keep in their memories, on their disks, is growing consistently at 4x every 3 years. That's the fundamental law of storage these days. The problem is that you must increase your ability to handle that data, and the classic bus-based designs are not keeping up.
The bus is like a party line. Imagine if a stock brokerage had to use a party line. Only one transaction could be done at a time. No matter how fast you talk, the volume of business you could do in a day would be minuscule. That's one-at-a-time communication, and that's basically what goes on in bus-based architecture. The CPUs, the memory, the I/O are all fighting it out on the party line, on the bus. Only one can talk at a time. For a true increase in computing power, you need multiple one-to-one communications going on simultaneously. In the brokerage, this means all the brokers could be talking one-to-one with their clients at the same time. In the computer, it means CPUs, memory, disks, and networks can all be engaged in simultaneous transfers. The technology to do this has been available for a while, but at a very high cost. Silicon Graphics has found a way to make it affordable. This is a huge leap forward in computing power, and they've applied it across their entire product line, from workstations to supercomputers. How did they do it? Two ways. For their O2 workstation, they found a way to make memory the interconnect. They call this unified memory architecture. This means, for example, that you can record, edit, and play back full-size, full-frame video on a machine that costs less than a video-equipped PC. It also means a workstation that can actually handle even the most demanding multimedia for the World Wide Web. On their higher-level machines, they've created scalable shared memory multiprocessing, S2MP. This uses a modular multi-port interconnect, which is able to transfer tremendous amounts of data. An Origin 200 web server with only one processor costs less and can handle more hits than previously available servers with 4 processors. In the Origin 2000, you have the ability to move huge amounts of data around. How huge? Think about the typical hard drive, let's say 2 gigabytes. How long would it take you to copy that onto another disk? Now imagine taking 500 of those. That is a terabyte, 1,000 gigabytes, 1,000,000 megabytes. With this new technology, you can move that terabyte across the system in under a minute. The Onyx 2, by combining S2MP technology with the Silicon Graphics geometry engine, has created the fastest, most powerful visual supercomputer ever built, capable of high-resolution, photorealistic, 60 frame per second, real-time simulations.
You know, I think one of the reasons why so many customers like to do business with Silicon Graphics is they get a window into the future.
Our business isn't to listen to what customers want us to do and then to do those things. Our business is to listen to what customers want to accomplish and then figure out what we can do to help them to accomplish those things.
Every now and then, a revolution comes along, bringing a fundamental change to the way computing works. A graphical user interface, reduced instruction set chips, multitasking, virtual memory, the web. This design approach is one of those revolutions. Incorporated into the entire Silicon Graphics product line, it makes manipulation of real-world data no longer an obstacle. It is now a capability at every level from workstation to supercomputer. And no one needs this power more than people using the World Wide Web.
The machines are very easy to manage, and they're very reliable. And these things are all key to someone that has to maintain a website.
You're going to get a website that ramps from 1 million hits in a month to 1 million hits in a week to 1 million hits in a day inside of 1 month. They aren't going to have time to spin up a whole new set of servers, a whole new set of connections and everything else.
SGI has always been at the leading edge of technology, and I think that the Origin 2000 is another example of this.
With the power of the web and the performance of this new design approach, what you can accomplish is breathtaking. When Silicon Graphics introduced WebFORCE in 1995, it was the industry's only integrated web system. Powerful Silicon Graphics hardware, together with a suite of web software, quickly became the platform of choice. But since then, the web has changed. The number of connected people and companies has skyrocketed. Web content has evolved from static to dynamic. The web has fundamentally changed our notion of content. For the first time, we have a set of universal open content standards: HTML, Java, VRML, and streaming media. The sheer volume of data has exploded, and software tools have not kept pace. Web servers have increasingly become bottlenecks. Solving these problems is the new generation of WebFORCE systems from Silicon Graphics. WebFORCE begins with the power of the Origin server family and the O2 workstation.
If a company set out to design computer systems explicitly to be used for the web, they couldn't have done a better job than Silicon Graphics has with the O2 and the Origin systems. The O2, by virtue of the way it deals with multimedia data, is the natural platform for creating the type of content that will truly make the web a mass market part of everyone's life. The Origin servers are just natural servers to deal with the way the web is structured as well.
I run the Netscape website, and we are I/O. We're sending terabytes of data out a week out over the networks, and I/O is king. We need to get stuff from memory onto the network faster than anybody else. Netscape is breaking new ground in networking and network demands, and we're going to be looking for every single possible solution. The Origin server line is certainly one of those solutions that's going to help us get there.
These WebFORCE Dream machines are combined with a new suite of software called Cosmo. Cosmo is aimed at web professionals, the teams that are building webs, developing Java applications, and managing live inter- or intranet sites.
The Cosmo suite is the perfect set of tools for creating web content. This allows a user to create, through an integrated set of tools, HTML content, VRML,
audio, MPEG video, all of the different content types that make a website interesting.
WebFORCE's powerful combination of software and hardware shows Silicon Graphics' commitment to the needs of the most demanding customers, businesses that are serious about using the web for communication, collaboration, and commerce.
The memory architecture scales across multiple machines. That gives you added flexibility for running programs across multiple machines with multiple network interfaces, which is very interesting to someone that handles a website.
Well, Silicon Graphics has built a system that really lets us go and match our server software, Netscape's server software, right to what the customers have.
The web changes everything. It will become the mechanism, the infrastructure, the way that users are attached to information and to applications.
I was waiting with bated breath for Silicon Graphics to come out with their next software, hardware product line. I mean, it's a combined set of software plus hardware to go do something as revolutionary as the Origin 2000.
The new WebFORCE line is the first to truly meet the ever-growing authoring and serving demands of the World Wide Web.